I've seen your face before, my friend, but I don't know if you know who I am. Well, I was there and I saw what you did. I saw it with my own two eyes. So you couldn't wipe off that grin. I know where you've been. It's all been a pack of lies. And I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. Well, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. Well, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Well, I remember, don't worry. How could I ever forget? It's the first time, the last time we ever met. But I know the reason why you keep your silence up.
2 minutes, 2 minutes.
The hurt doesn't show, but the pain still grows. Some stranger to you and me. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. Well, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord. I can feel it in the air tonight. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Well, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. And I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord. I can feel it in the air tonight. Oh Lord.
What's going on, everybody? We have a game tonight. We are playing football tonight, guys. Thursday night, Browns Bengals. Bad game last week. I'm Mike. You know who I am. I got my dad with me. Dad, how you doing? I think you might be on mute. There you go.
Good.
So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts going into this game, Dad? What do we have to expect going into this one?
Well, I view this as a obviously a key game, but I look back at last year and I think, the similarities between getting blown out by the Titans and then getting blown out by Baltimore this year. High expectations, really disappointed in both first games. Now we go to game 2, short week, different than last year. We had the Jets. We didn't play all that well, but we won the game. But, it was a game where, what's his name, Darnell, however you pronounce his name. He wasn't playing. He had mono. We had a rookie quarterback. If we couldn't win that game, we might as well go home. Well, we won the game, but it wasn't very convincing. Then a couple of weeks later, we go up against Denver. A weak team, a rookie quarterback who hasn't thrown a ball in the NFL, and we wind up losing that game. And here we go against a rookie quarterback. Granted, it's game 2. Granted, he was the number 1 draft pick. He can play. He showed some pretty good stuff against the Chargers last week. He's not going to be a pushover. So I look for one key element, and that is how much pressure we can put on Burrow. If he's a rookie quarterback, you can't let him go back and sit in the pocket and pick you apart, because he will do that. He's that good. And so you've got to put some pressure either with just normal 4 guys up front with Garrett, or you blitz. And the combination with that is you can't play back with your defense, with your linebackers and your secondary. You can't let them have 10 yards, turn around, throw it to a tight end. He'll pick you apart. If they let him do that, we're going to lose the game. I mean, and our offense has got to score some points. We can't win this game 0-0. You have to score some points. You've got to get in the 20s and maybe low 30s. If we do that and our defense puts pressure on him, for me, it's getting in his face, getting up the middle in his face. Don't let him have the short little drops, 3-step drop, throw it to a tight end, throw it to an out. Make everybody play up man to man in their, on them, so that when he gets the ball in the shotgun or he takes it under center, when he goes back, he's looking at everybody covered. And then he's got to make a decision. What do I do with the ball? And the longer he holds the ball, indecision, rookie quarterback, don't want to throw it into coverage, don't want to throw it, in a tight spot. He's going to get rattled. At least that's our best option. Plus, all the other stuff. You can't have penalties. You can't have special teams play terrible. Baker's got to throw the ball. He can't make mistakes. Everybody's got to step it up. But if you let Burrow do his thing, he's good enough, I think, even in week 2, that he can. And we've shown now. Granted, it's a different team than last year. We have different players, more talent, different coaching, etc. So let's see how good the coaching is this week. Let's see if they can come up with a game plan that works, both offense and defense. Those are my thoughts. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I was muted there. Just the joys of working from home and doing all the great stuff. Anyway, what I was saying is, we played the hardest game on our schedule on paper last week. Talked about this with Quincy before. We talked about it on the after show. The post game show. We talked about it on my Monday rant show. It's the hardest game on our calendar. On our schedule for the year, we played it last week, and we got wrecked on every aspect of the game, right? So we obviously we weren't prepared. We didn't execute. Yes, we can throw out excuses in terms of not having the preseason COVID stuff going on, not having those games to warm up. Great, whatever, and that's fine. Whereas Baltimore was a returning team who had won a whole bunch. I think they won 14 games last year. I mean, it was ridiculous how many games they won. Right. So it's not like they're an up and coming team either. But that's not the case tonight. We don't have any excuses coming into tonight. They're coming off a short week and a loss. We're coming off a short week and a loss. They have a team that's unproven. So do we. They've got coaches that are unproven. So do we. Looking back at the difference between the Chargers and the Ravens, the Chargers aren't this powerhouse team. I mean, they're a team in transition. Tyrod did what Tyrod does. He managed the game. He threw 30 times, completed 16, 208 yards. Didn't light up the world.
Right.
They ran the ball 39 times compared to we ran the ball against the Ravens 27 times. That's including the fake punt and Baker running for his life. Okay? If you look at their running backs, Austin Eckler, Joshua Kelly, guys that aren't Pro Bowl, they're not going to they shouldn't light up the world. The Chargers obviously felt that there was something that they could exploit on the ground, or they just didn't have enough confidence in Tyrod throwing. I don't know, but that was definitely part of their game plan. And if you just look at the numbers, they won 16-13, running the hell out of the ball, and it was a close game. So if we match that same strategy, I think going into this game, keeping the ball on the ground and doing well, we should at least do what the Chargers did.
Right.
Okay? And that's the one thing. Looking at some of the interesting stuff, the following inactives for tonight. So DPJ is out. I don't know why he's out. Greedy's hurt. Kevin Johnson's hurt. Jacob Phillips hurt. Mac Wilson hurt. And then Olivier Vernon is inactive tonight. I didn't know that he was injured. Surprised about that. Malcolm Smith is going to start tonight. T. Mitch is going to get the start again. Adrian Claiborne's going to start for Olivier, and then Chris Hubbard's going to start at right tackle. So is Conklin out, or is why is Hubbard in there starting? That's surprising.
No, Conklin is active, is backup. So if he's needed, they can put him in, but he's not starting.
Okay, interesting. Okay. I want to echo what you were saying. I agree 100%. It all comes down to pressure. If you look at how Baker's played over the first 2 years, and even the first game, if you dial up pressure on young quarterbacks, you have a better chance to win the game because you're forcing them to make quick decisions, right? It's not just the quick decision and the execution have to happen very fast, and the speed of the game. In the end, there is no faster game. There's no faster game than the NFL, right?
Right.
I mean, playing high school, playing college, it's the fastest game out there. And if you can throw your super athletes and rush the quarterback, make him make good decisions, it's really going to come down to it. Baker's also not the most fleet of foot guy, right? So they put pressure on him. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. We have to be able to do that against Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is not a slow guy. He's not, he's not, Bernie Kosar back there, right? I mean, he can move. I think he had a rushing touchdown. Pretty sure he had a rush. Yeah, he had a rushing touchdown, right?
Right.
He ran 8 times for 46 yards. I mean, that's fairly productive on the ground. Tyrod ran 6 times for 7 yards. If you were to ask me who's probably going to have more yards on the ground, I wouldn't have said Joe Burrow is going to have 7 times the amount of production on the ground than Tyrod with a touchdown. On the flip side of it,
it was really that one run that he ran for the touchdown. I mean, that was, he's not the fastest quarterback. He's not a Michael Vick or a Lamar Jackson. He's a pocket passer for the most part, although he's very accurate. He's very Tom Brady-ish in terms of his size and maybe his smarts, and he probably doesn't. He won't go deep that many times. He's going to go short, and if he goes short, we've got to have people in his face. We've got to have hands up. We got to go up the middle, so we can't have his passing lanes open. We got to force him to make tight throws. If he makes the tight throws, he deserves to win. I mean, he's that good. If he's a second game as a quarterback in the NFL, if he can do that. But that's what we have to do to try to control the game from our side of the ball on both the offense and the defense. And Baker just can't make stupid mistakes. He can't throw interceptions. He's got to get everybody into the offense. Chubb and Hunt have got to do their thing. I don't know how good their defensive line is or how good their offensive line is. But the Chargers got to Burrow a couple of times, so I think we can get to him as well. and hopefully the fans make some noise. If there's 6,000 or 7,000 of them there, hopefully they make some noise and we get some early momentum.
Yeah.
We score first. We get the first touchdown. We get the first field goal.
We've had that too, where we've been excited and moved along, and then also fell apart right after a great scoring drive. Right. Also, looking back to the Chargers and Bengals game again, this is just pure statistics. What I'm seeing, he's not throwing. Joe Burrow's. They're not throwing, a lot of passes to running backs. Joe Mixon caught 1. Gio Bernard caught 4. That's not a ton. 5 receptions for A.J. Green. 4 for C.J. Ozama. I don't know how to pronounce the last name. And then 4 for Tyler Boyd. John Ross had 2. So, if you think about it, I mean, again, they're not lighting it out. He was 23 for 36, 193, an interception, 46 yards on the ground. So what I see with the Bengals, I see the Bengals as being a very average team, right? This is the reality of it. They are a rebuilding, very average team. They do have some studs. Joe Mixon's a stud. A.J. Green is a stud. But beyond that, they don't have a Mark Andrews. They don't have a guy who's going to kill you, right? If we stick Denzel Ward on A.J. Green, hopefully he locks him down or keeps him within check, right? We don't get burned by A.J. Green, which I don't think A.J. Green's doing that anymore. I see A.J. Green as being more of a very, very capable athlete, but I don't think he's going to be a burner like he used to be. Right. I'm more afraid of Joe Mixon than I am of anything else on the Bengals offense at this point. Joe Mixon ate us alive the second game last year and just took us to town. Mm-hmm. And in the chat, we've got some people saying that Perf Knott says, I'm really worried about our linebacker stopping the Cincy running game. I'm concerned there. But I think on the other side, on the flip side for the Bengals, I don't think the Bengals have a very good defense. I think with Geno Atkins out, that's a problem. Stopping us up front. I don't know any of these other guys. I don't know them, right? I don't know who Jermaine Pratt is or Von Ball. I don't know who these guys are. I've never heard of them. So looking at their defense, it's pedestrian. Right? There's no stars. There's no Myles Garrett. There's no Denzel Ward on their defense. Right? I think that we have. I think from an offensive standpoint, at home, right? At home against this defense, we might be going from the hardest to the softest like that, and that's really going to be the tale, right? We got dominated last week against a much better, much more seasoned, better coached, and better prepared organization altogether. We have to be able to contrast how we then go against the softest one, the least prepared, a team that's very much in a similar situation with us, but with less talent on paper. That's what we're going to have a lot to compare after this game. I do expect us to win here.
I do too.
I expect us. Last week, I didn't know last week.
Right, we got off to a bad start. And obviously the kicking game was non-existent. Going to be interesting to see who's active for Cincinnati on the kicking side. Whether their kicker he didn't twist an ankle or whatever. He had a cramp, a muscle cramp.
Right.
And so a couple of days of rest and maybe he was dehydrated, whatever. They're saying they're going with him as their kicker, and Siebert is on the practice squad or whatever. But if his leg isn't any better tonight, well, then we're going to see Siebert, and we could have a scenario where he beats us at the end. If it comes down to a field goal and we lose to Siebert, we deserve to lose. I mean, it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't come down to a field goal. That means we haven't played our game. We haven't.
Field goal to Siebert to lose the game would be the cherry on the top of this 4-day period in Brown's existence. Right.
Matty B says Siebert is inactive. So
all right, so we get the fat kicker then,
right?
Which is fine. I mean,
he was pretty good.
I have never seen in my entire life in any level of football a kicker injure themselves while kicking the ball. I've seen the one. Who's the one kicker? Remember the two like South American kickers? One guy was on Tampa Bay, and then his brother kicked for like Arizona or something, and they used to jump up and down like they just scored the final goal in the World Cup. I can't remember who those guys were. Chad, if you guys remember who the old kicker were. Grammatica. There you go.
Yeah.
Grammatica. And his brother kicked a field goal, made the kick. It was like a 38-yard field goal. I mean, it was like, yeah, it was a field goal, but whatever. Jumps up and down, lands on his leg, and like blows out his knee.
Right.
Like by celebrating.
Right.
So I've seen that, but I've never seen somebody kick a ball and instantly grab their leg and then hobble off the field.
Well, you would think that is possible. I mean,
sure.
If you ever pulled a hamstring and you go from a start, stop, and then you try to accelerate, you can pull a muscle, you can get a cramp. He obviously was tense. He was ready to kick. Maybe he just wasn't warmed up enough, obviously, on the sidelines.
They had a timeout, too. They could have iced him, and they didn't.
Yeah, right.
Which is, I don't know why. Maybe they were saving it. I don't know.
It would have only tied the game. It wouldn't have won the game.
Right.
It would have went into overtime, and who knows what can happen in overtime. But, that was the typical game that the Chargers lost with Rivers last year. They must have lost 6 or 7 games in the last minute on field goals, on stupid plays.
We had the Hugh Jackson era where we just lost everything. How many games did we lose to kickers? We could have beat Pittsburgh a bunch of times. We just lost. I mean, it really comes down in the NFL. Their teams are so evenly matched, right? That it really does come down to inches or millimeters or wind. I mean, a lot of times it does. But I think that there's some psychology to it. If we end up getting the ball, go down and score, and make the extra point, everybody will just go, okay, I think the world is continuing to spin. Right. If we go down and we have let's say we have a great drive, but it stalls at like the 23-yard line, right? So we've got like a 37-yard field goal.
Right.
On the opening drive to score points and have a lead going in, and then he misses that. It's going to be like, all right, is there any other free agent kickers that are out there that can step up and do the job?
Well, there's a lot of kickers out there, but your point is, can they do the job more than – look at that guy from New England that got picked up by
is it Gostkowski?
Gostkowski, yeah. He misses 3 field goals and an extra point, and he gets to redeem himself with the winning kick.
Yeah.
And his face was, after he made the kick, everybody's congratulating him, great, blah, 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 blah. He felt so bad at that point that, he just wanted to crawl off the field. Even though he made the kick, he knew that missing 3 field goals and an extra point was horrible for a quarterback.
No, I mean that like ends your career right there. If you go back, because it was funny. I was going the whole thing after the kicker. I mean, obviously I don't want to blame the whole thing on the damn kicker. I think there's some psychology with it. It sucks. It would have kept us in the game. Maybe we would have played harder. Who knows what would have happened? All in all, right. But I went back and I was looking at like the Phil Dawson, stats. And, Phil had such a great, consistent career. Now, I realize that the extra point wasn't as far back for the vast majority of his career and all that kind of stuff. I get it.
He was a straight-on kicker, too.
Yeah.
He was the old-fashioned straight-on kicker. He wasn't the soccer-style type.
Well, he didn't toe it.
No, but he was pretty much – his ball turned over and over as opposed to these kickers today, especially since they kick so violently. The ball seems to act like a knuckleball for the first half of the kick, and you don't know whether it's going to go left, right, or through the middle. Whereas before, if you knew the ball turned over end over end, you knew it was going to go straight. It wasn't going to curve this way or that way, and that's why Dawson was so good. He was very, very consistent that way.
Yeah, I mean the reality is this is a critically important game for our season, for the confidence of our players, specifically for the confidence of our quarterback. If Baker comes out and throws 5 touchdowns tonight, everybody's going to forget they all bashed him and all that different stuff. He's got to really come out and make a statement. He has to do that based on the way he played last week. I mean, it's unlikely that we're going to see this massive turnaround from him. But if you have a team to do it, the good thing is he didn't have a chance to dwell on the bad week, and the rest of the players too. It's like you don't have time to think about it. You got to get ready and get right back at it, right? So
Absolutely.
So this whole preseason, they had to go into this week prepared from a coaching perspective. Is going, we have two games within a 1 week period, or within a 4 day period. We don't have any breaks. We have to game plan for the Ravens and for the Bengals for the whole preseason leading up, right? So they should be ready for this.
And they got to see Burrow in a full game,
right,
start to finish, so they know how far he's progressed. They know what his status is at this point. Maybe they were hiding a few things and saving them for the Browns. Who knows?
Yep.
But I think what you saw in that first game, they wanted to win that game.
They absolutely wanted to win the game.
And they tried their hardest. And luckily the Chargers beat them. The Giants played terrible against Pittsburgh. Daniel Jones had the opportunity to win the game or keep them competitive the whole way through. And when he threw that horrible interception on the 5-yard line, and you got the top running back in the league almost in Barkley, and you can't run it in from the 5-yard line. I hope we don't do that. I hope if we get in the, inside the 10, we run the ball 3 times and only pass as a last resort.
Yeah.
But give it to Chubb, give it to Hunt, do a little, maybe even play action or whatever, especially if the running game has worked up to that point. But you got to punch it in. We can't settle for field goals, especially against Cincinnati.
We need to score points. We need to come. This has to be a statement. We have to, if we want to save our season, we got to come out and make a big statement here.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's got to be our game. It's our game. We're a 5.5 point favorite to win this game, as opposed to a pick 'em or a 3-point game or whatever. So on paper, that's on paper with the talent that we have and the capability that we have and the rookie status on the other side of the ball. We gotta make him play like a rookie. We can't make a rookie look like he's a seasoned professional.
Well, here's an interesting thing, right? So here's a very interesting stat, and I don't remember. Maybe it was Quincy was talking about it. I can't remember exactly who it was. But it's not exactly similar, but it's very close. So back in 2007, which is the best Browns team other than the 2004 playoff team, but the 10-6 Browns team, right? We lost 34-7 opening day against Pittsburgh. Then we ended up getting rid of Charlie Fry. We shipped him out to Seattle, and then we went with Derek Anderson for the rest of the season and ended up beating Cincinnati the next week. You and I were watching every game that season.
Yeah. He lit it up.
51-45. Right. We scored 51 freaking points the second week after only scoring 7 the week before. We scored 6 last week. So and we didn't fire a quarterback, but we fired a kicker, right? So 51 points we scored against Cincinnati. And if we could have just beat them again on December 23rd, losing 14-19, we would have gone to the playoffs that year. But anyway, I digress. That was an amazing team from start to finish. That was an amazing team. Everything with Derek Anderson and Jamal Lewis, and
that was his big year. He had a big year, and then he never got back with the Browns to that level. Yeah. And then they traded him to another team, and he did okay, but nothing great. He was a backup. But that was his moment in the sun. Was that year and that game.
Yeah, good old DA, and that was when the quarterback controversy between Derek Anderson and Brady Quinn. Now, right. I mean, with all the people that are out there that are bashing Baker, and I agree. He didn't have a good season last year. He got off to a rough start against the Ravens, especially that opening drive, guys, was it really set the tone. It set the tone And I think that the fans, I think that the media, and I think the organization as a whole, and probably the players, to be honest, are now in a situation where they're like really, the pressure's starting to build on Baker. It's you got to show up, or you're not going to be there. The bottom line is, Case Keenum is not somebody that anybody should be going, put in Keenum. We got a guy we don't have a Tom Brady backing us up, guys. We have Case Keenum, who is the epitome of average quarterback. And so we shouldn't be rooting for this.
Right.
But then again, Baker has got to come out and he's got to execute, because we are in a window. We're in a window for the next 3 years. We've invested a lot of money into Baker. We've invested resources, money, and now 2.5. This is going to be like the third year, right? So we're investing all this money in this guy and the draft pick and everything. And where we stand is somewhat at a crossroads. This is a make or break year for him. Okay, so he's got to come out to do it, because I don't want to see. I bought too many Baker Mayfield jerseys to be out there rooting for him to not be playing and Case Keenum out there. But then again, we see all the, like McNeil, Reflog on Twitter, like he always says it. He's like, there's nothing like getting crushed at 1:00 and then waiting for the afternoon games and late games and seeing your quarterback who just threw multiple interceptions and lost the game in Progressive commercial, right, or Hulu commercial. We just we don't want to see it, right? He's got to get better, or he's going to lose his job.
I think he knows that. He's been, he's always pulled himself up by the bootstraps wherever he's been. One game does not make a season, especially against as quality a team as Baltimore was. And your own team can't let you down. You can't throw to an Odell Beckham Jr. on a 10-yard pass for a first down, and he drops the damn ball, which would have kept the drive alive. I mean, it's got to be so deflating for the whole team, including the quarterback. And then he compounds it with a penalty, face mask, and he also steps out of bounds. That's a rookie mistake. Rookie mistake.
Well, I don't think the chemistry's not there. The chemistry was there with Jarvis, and I still think is there with Jarvis.
Right.
But the chemistry is not there with Odell Beckham.
Right.
And now with one of Odell's trainers came out today and was bashing Baker and all this stuff. It's like, look, dude, I mean, when your client is dropping 4-yard passes that hit him in both of his hands,
right,
and you're gonna come out there and claim that it's the quarterback doing it,
right,
dude, what do you want? Would you want him to physically hand him the ball? It's 4 yards. I was completing 4-yard passes in JV quarterback in 1994. Right? He should catch he's a professional guy. No more one-handed catches, no more practice, warm up, OBJ over the corner stuff. I don't want to see it anymore. Catch the damn ball. When it hits you, it hits you. And if Baker misses him, which he has done from time to time, fine.
Not perfect.
I mean, yeah, that's all I got to say about that. But again, if we run the ball and we run the ball like the Chargers did and have success on the ground, we're not going to have to worry about that.
Right.
And I don't think Baker's going to go out there and force it. It's at home. He's going to be more comfortable at home than he was obviously in Baltimore. It's a night game. The lights are on. Whereas, yes, we've done well with night games before, like the Jets, 2 times against the Jets. We've also done really bad in night games with the 49ers and the Rams last year. So this is it, guys. Like, the reality of our season will be defined tonight. It was not defined last week. It was, we got a glimpse at how bad things can be. But if we end up losing tonight, that's the definition. We're not coming back from this. Right? There's going to be change. There will be changes.
I guess. Yeah, it'll be tough. Even if you sit Baker and let Keenum take on Washington, just to let Baker watch from the sidelines or something,
There's going to be changes. That's all I know. I mean, and it could be. I mean, quarterbacks get benched from time to time.
Absolutely.
It's going to be embarrassing. It's going to be humbling.
Yeah, Brady didn't do all that well. He was supposed to be, God, and bring Tampa to the promised land, and he, at times he looked like the old Brady. I mean, he kept him in the game for most of it. He threw some really good passes, but he threw some horrible passes. The big thing I noticed in that game was that he wasn't able to get the ball to Gronkowski. In New England, he just threw it to Gronkowski 10 yards, 15 yards, not deep, because he's a tight end. He's not a deep threat, but play after play. And you wonder, how can a guy like that get so wide open when they know they're going to go to him? Well,
just like Mark Andrews did it to us last week. Mark Andrews today is Gronk, 6 years ago.
Right.
He is Gronk 6 years ago. He's an unstoppable force. Gronk today is retired Gronk, who came back to play one more. What the Tampa Bay Buccaneers remind me of? When Daniel Snyder bought the Redskins and then got Deion Sanders and he got Bruce Smith and he got all these aging dinosaur players and threw them on the team and said, "There you go, win me a Super Bowl." It doesn't work like that. It doesn't. And then, somebody from work was asking me about the Browns and stuff like that and talking about Tampa. And I'm like, look, nobody wins in New Orleans. They don't lose at home.
Except for Tim Couch.
Well, the one time, yeah, Tim Couch did beat him there.
on the last play of the game.
But the reality is that if you look statistically, that's probably there and maybe Seattle might be the two places that nobody wins there. Maybe New England recently. Yeah. But so I'm not going to chalk up this whole season to the Tampa Bay losing there, but they're another team that has to show something this week. Right.
I agree.
I think Pittsburgh's beatable. I think I think the Ravens are scary, but the Ravens they're not perfect. Right? If we would have played a perfect game, we would have beat them. Just like we played a perfect game last year and we beat them.
Right. 49ers got beat. That was a big upset. A lot of people lost money on that one.
Yeah.
In Pick'em, Survivor, whatever. You got to give the Cardinals credit. They didn't give up. They kept coming back. And, so 16 teams lost last week. Not 12, not 4. 16, half the league lost last week. And of those 16 losses, probably 4 were considered upsets. I mean, they should have won based on the talent that they had on the field, and they didn't. And teams like Buffalo won. Teams like Seattle won. Who else? Teams that got by their first game, did fine, but there were a couple that didn't, and we are unfortunately the one that got a lot of notoriety because we got creamed. I mean, and we didn't play well. So it's anytime you have a team that plays well against a team that doesn't play well, it's going to be a big spread. Yeah. It's going to be a blowout. We sort of gave up at beginning of the third quarter. So I mean, we only played half a game in when it really counted, and the rest of it was just going through the motions and working on your plays and trying not to get hurt.
How do you feel about the orange pants announcement?
I'm not a big uniforms guy. I'm a big helmet guy. I want to make sure the helmet does not change. It's unique, and it always has been. The rest of it,
pants don't bring you back to the Brian Sipe era.
Maybe a little bit, but that's not going to win you any games. So I mean, we have to play with confidence. Baker has to play with confidence. Secondary's got to step up. The linebackers have got to step up. The defensive line's got to step up. We got to get some fumbles. We got to get some tipped balls. We got to get some turnovers. We do really well when we have turnovers, like any other team. Keep the ball away from Burrow. Manage the clock. Don't make any stupid plays. I doubt whether we're going to do any fourth and fake punts.
We're not going to fake. The chat was also saying don't fake punt anymore.
Right.
I applaud them for the risk. I love risk taking.
Right.
I think
At the right time.
yeah,
At the right
right.
time.
But Quincy was talking about this in his recap, and I always bring up Quincy because I'm a big fan of his, and I think everybody should go to his channel and join his Patreon. I'm a patron for Quincy. I think he's awesome. Support him. But he was talking about that. The reality is, even if we would have got the first down, what do you have it on like their 34 now? I mean, like it's not. You give them the ball on the 30 on their in their 30-yard line, around that area. It is guaranteed you're handing them 3 points because of Justin Tuck.
Yeah, and it doesn't take much to turn a team around and get them going. I'm a big Yankees fan, and the Yankees, 7 or 8 games ago,
my God,
were playing horrible. Now, granted, they lost a couple of their key players, and their pitching was very suspect, but they were playing just horrible. No hitting, no pitching, running the bases crazy, really, really bad. Then all of a sudden, one game, and I don't know if it was a 1-0 win or a 3-2 win or whatever, got them on a roll. In the last 2 games, the Yankees have scored 20 runs and 13 runs against their next rival, the Toronto Blue Jays. 33 runs in 2 games, hitting homer after homer after homer. So it's a momentum game. It's a confidence game.
Yeah.
If you go up to the plate and you're confident you're going to be able to hit the ball, chances are you're going to hit it. If you go, you take the snap from under center and you think, oh, maybe I'll complete a pass, maybe I won't, maybe I'll get killed because my line isn't blocking. You can't win games like that. You just can't.
I mean, it's with a guy like Justin Tucker, who is automatic, statistically the most accurate kicker in NFL history, to get that will win you games, right? To know, and then that builds confidence as well. If you know that you get it if you get it past the 40-yard line on the other side, you're going to put points on the board. That's insane. That's confident. That wins you. That's keeping Harbaugh's job, right? This one dude. That's how important the kicker is.
Keeps you in the game.
And that's how when we drafted a kicker, to draft a guy who's that accurate in college, to have his mind go and not be able to execute on extra points and then very makeable field goals. Probably in practice, that guy probably makes 95 out of 100 in practice. Right. And to miss that,
no pressure.
Yeah, with nothing, and then you put pressure on, and that's what kicking is.
Right, absolutely.
But I don't know. I mean, I think chat. Let's ask you guys. What are your thoughts on the outcome of the game? Give me some score predictions. I'd love to know what you guys are thinking there. We're going to do the T-shirt giveaway. I'm rocking my new T-shirt today. I Believe in Cleveland T-shirt, right, from Sabo Apparel, who hooked it up. I got the Sabo Apparel hat as well. The good people at Homage reached out, and they want to start doing some T-shirts again too. So they're back on the logo, and so we're gonna do a Homage T-shirt giveaway on the post game show. So join us on the post game. It's already scheduled, so you guys can find it on the channel. Make sure you hit that alert. Anybody who's here who's not a subscriber, and probably everybody is, but if you're not a subscriber, subscribe to it as well. Leave a comment. All of these things help with the algorithm of YouTube. So the more active you are in chat, the more engagements you make, the higher up we rank when we go live and stuff like this. So it all helps. It all matters. But in all, we're going to be giving away the T-shirt. We're going to do a Homage T-shirt. We might have even more cool stuff. I'm trying to get Homage to give me one of those jackets, the new starter jackets. They're orange this year. I'm trying to get one of the orange jackets this year. And I think they're working on that. They just have very limited supply. But I was talking to them, and they're like, look, we have to win. When we win, we sell. If we don't win, we don't sell stuff. Like, I bet you there weren't a ton of people after the Ravens game going like, oh, sign me up for a Baker jersey or an Odell Beckham jersey. But if he starts making catches and scoring touchdowns, everybody's going to be buying again. That's how it works. So I hope it helps out the Homage, the Sabo Apparel, all those guys. GVR, like all those guys who make the T-shirts and do that stuff. It's important to them.
We got to go, Mike. It's pretty close.
All right, guys. All right, so let me just read off the predictions. We got Browns fan 77 says 24-17 Browns. We got Marlon Labe 17-13 Browns. Perf Notch 30-10 Bengals. Ugh, prove me wrong, Browns, he says. Dad, you say 31-17. I'll be very happy with that.
Right.
Hambone 24-20. I'm not even going to do a prediction. I'm so bad at the predictions. I'm not even going to do it. All right, so give me, guys, this is for the Sabre Apparel Believe in Cleveland shirt, or they'll probably end up giving you whatever you want. I just think this is an awesome shirt, so I want to actually, they didn't give me this. I bought this. So let's do 1 to 100 in chat now. Okay, so guys, do 1 to 100. I have my number that is in there. I'm not looking. I'm gonna go. Okay, my number's in, so I'm not looking anymore. So whoever's closest, by the way, wins the t-shirt. Everybody's got a chance. Get it rocking. Yeah, and we'll be watching. I'm gonna have the game on, and I'm gonna be riding on my Peloton bike during the game because I got to do my ride. This is 75-minute week, so I got to go 75 minutes. So I'm just gonna do it during the damn game.
I got a different shirt on. I got my Browns.
Oh yeah, remember? Did I give you that one?
Yeah, I think so. No Baker jersey tonight. Don't want to put that extra pressure on him.
Yeah, don't want to jinx. I'm not going with that. This is a pregame no jersey. Pregame this. We'll give everybody another minute or so before we award the winner for the t-shirt. But yeah, I'm excited about it. I've got plenty of liquid to be drinking during the game. I'm not going to be yelling. I'm gonna if you guys ever watch football with me, it's an experience. I get so emotionally invested in this that it's very difficult. I'm yelling at the TV. I'm yelling. So I'm gonna try to stay cool and just allow the game to happen, and we'll go from there. All right, I think we've given enough people time.
Yep.
The number was 37. So we have Matt White with 42. I think 42 might win it. Yep, I think Matt White wins it. The first guy to put in a number.
Yep.
All right, Matt. Matt White, send me an email to browniepostgame@gmail.com. browniepostgame@gmail.com. With your contact information. Will correspond. Basically, you need to tell me. I need your address. I need your size. I need a link to whatever shirt you want from Sabo Apparel. So again, browniepostgame@gmail.com. Matt White, you are the man. Congratulations on your victory, and hopefully the Browns get a victory. Right? We need to be 1-1. Let's make that happen. Game's live. Later. I think the game starts at 8:20, so we have a couple minutes. Yeah, okay. We're not quite. It's not quite pressure time yet. It's going to be on the NFL Network. For anybody out there who's looking for ways to watch it, I think Hulu is doing. It has a Sling TV. They said Sling has it, so you can sign up for like a free Sling account, and you get you can get it. I'm sure all the illegal streams are going to be live, but if you want to watch a legitimate stream of it, just sign up for Sling TV for their free trial and then cancel it. And you got it. I'll be watching on YouTube TV. I'm a YouTube TV subscriber. So we'll be good to go. How are you watching? Are you watching on DirecTV, Dan?
No, I'm in Delaware, so I'm watching it on NFL Network. Yeah.
YouTube TV? Okay, cool.
YouTube TV, right.
All right, guys. Be back after the game. Directly after the game, we're going to be live. Dad, if you're still awake, obviously, you're welcome to join. Hopefully, if we win the game, we'll be good to go.
Yeah, definitely.
And we'll be doing the homage t-shirt giveaway and giving us our thoughts there at the end. So everybody, thank you very much for watching.
Go Browns.